Welcome to Jake and Trev Review Everything Live. I'm Trev.
I'm Jake.
And here you are. You're joining us in week 45. 45 caliber.
Finger guns. 45 caliber finger guns.
If you're new to this, it's the best damn live show in America and the world.
Yup.
No one really does it better than Jake and Trev, as we are, of course, the Iron Fist and Power Man of internet reviewers.
See, we got a new thing going on here. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd be Iron Man or Power Fist. I like them both so much.
I mean, Power Man or Iron Fist?
Well, whatever. I got mixed up.
Iron Man, Power Fist would be a pretty sweet comp. I mean,
obviously you have Iron Man, but who's Power Fist?
I don't know, but it sounds kind of cool. Like, he might, have some serious... He's got serious punch and power.
Oh, man.
Don't rely on a kick from him.
Well, wait, hold on. I think Iron Fist is Danny Rand, and Power Fist is Ayn Rand.
Hello to Michael Swanson, Tajik Silvis, and Akira Kennedy, who have joined us here in the show.
Hey,
hello, guys. We got lots of news to talk about this week. Some interesting tidbits from the geekosphere. I'm just making things up. Nobody calls it that.
Yeah.
It's like the OC. It's like the OC. Don't call it
that. In our tradition of honoring people after they kick the bucket, our person of the week this week is H.R. Geiger.
H.R. Geiger. Man, that man...
He liked his dicks.
See, I was going to say, man, I'd like to pick his brain, but I really wouldn't.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't want to know how he thinks of those things.
Because if you saw his brain, it would be a bunch of gray coils of dicks.
Well, I really wish we had a video inset behind us so we could show some of these pictures to the group.
I don't know. We'll get a little NC-17 in
well, there's I was seeing a photo spread someone did recently, presumably after the death here, or prior to the death, and now it just seems interesting, where someone took a series of photos of H.R. Geiger's yard, his backyard.
Really?
He's got a bunch of H.R. Geiger statues and architecture and shit.
Oh yeah, he's a sculptor.
If you're not familiar,
crazy. If you're not familiar, H.R. Geiger did the original designs for Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
He did some of the designs for a couple other movies.
Yeah, he's kind of...
he's an artist first and foremost.
He's a visual artist, and like Knox Harrington.
Yeah.
And it's the stuff of nightmares, boys and girls.
But I mean, I'm sure you've heard of what's her name with the vagina flowers.
Oh, Georgia O'Keeffe.
Georgia O'Keeffe. A lot of her drawings were of flowers, but vaginas.
Really vaginas.
H.R. Geiger was like, here's some aliens, but they're dicks.
Surprise.
They're dicks.
So yes, he shall be missed, particularly in the world of sci-fi, where he brought particularly body horror to life for a lot of us.
Well, I mean, we joke about dicks, but all of his designs are very, human parts. Even though sometimes those parts are dicks.
It's the movie, Alien is the movie that made millions of men being scared of being raped. So, by space monsters. Yeah. So,
the facehuggers were vaginas.
Rats off to you, sir.
Our person of the week, H.R. Geiger.
Rest in peace, sir.
Rest in peace.
Bring nightmares to whatever continuum lies beyond this mortal coil.
Alright, so again... the mortal coil of dicks.
Yes.
The mortal coil is just a big coil of a dick. Let's stop talking about dicks. Let's see. Did most of the artwork for Omni Magazine. Very nice.
Also, my mom is here. She says hello.
My dad's here, too.
Say hi to my mom and his dad.
Say hi to my dad.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
We're orienting you right now.
If you haven't been on the show before, that's who you say hi to.
You say hi to us, and then our parents, respectively.
There's it. So, if you're watching us, we didn't get any questions on the Facebook.
Slacking. All y'all.
Slacking off. Well, you're here. If you're watching us, you're here.
Not slacking off.
You're live, so give us some questions. Any questions?
What burning hot, white hot, iridescent
phosphorus
candles of your thoughts
question marks
are burning holes in your noodle pans and just dying to get out. We'll answer them.
All right.
Our top story tonight, apparently, Jake,
It's not really a top story. It's the story that's at the top of the tabs that we have up.
It's hard-hitting news. It's a top story. What do we got, Jake?
All right. So apparently there is a. Oh wow! I just botched this. I thought that was a number. I thought there was a phone number. Doesn't that look like a phone number?
A little bit.
Who are you gonna call? Apparently, the U.S. military has a real plan to fight the zombie apocalypse. This is an article from Kotaku. Mm-hmm. Surprise, surprise. Jake and Trev reading Kotaku again.
That's a rumor that I had heard long-standing, that the government drafts plans for just about every contingency, just in case. And I guess it's not entirely surprising that somebody spent enough money to set some generals and some scientists in a room together for a little while.
You know what? If it happens, they're prepared. I don't have a problem with that.
With all the movies that there have been and all the things that people are interested in zombies and the concern there, I guess I'd feel kind of angry about it if it turned out they'd never thought about it at all. Yeah. Like after everything, all the entertainment that has been produced with zombies, and then we have a zombie apocalypse, and then the military's like, we never thought about this. Yeah. And it's like, well,
I think the one thing that
Barney Fife apparently is the commanding officer there. Well, oh, Shandy!
Oh, nuts. No, I think the one thing that bugs me the most about, like, films, at least in that vein, is that they never call zombies zombies. It's like a taboo to call a zombie. Mm-hmm. Like, when you're dealing with vampires, they say vampires, or werewolves. I mean, sometimes they have their own names for themselves.
Yeah, it's as if nobody feels silly calling a vampire, but if you saw something that was very zombie-like and you called it a zombie,
I was like, no.
Everyone would like, whoa, guy, come on.
You gotta call them like
walkers, Zeds in the DayZ game, which I'm a frequent promoter of around here.
Yeah. Unfinished beta promoter Trevor Peterson.
Unfinished alpha.
Oh, even worse. Even worse. How is that better? Alpha comes before beta.
That's right.
All right. But so that's interesting that they have this. It's pretty neat. I guess it's called ConOp 8888-11.
Counter zombie dominance.
Apparently, you can find the policy online.
It's incredibly detailed, and in fact, delineates, it looks like, several different types of typical zombies.
Zombie threat, pathogenic zombies, radiation zombies, evil magic zombies, space zombies, weaponized zombies. No. I didn't read that part.
So pathogenic zombies are actually obviously like a viral zombie, right? And radiation zombie, that's like a classic. Night of the Living Dead zombie.
No,
sort of.
It was halfway between radiation zombies and evil magic zombies.
Oh, I was gonna say space zombies. Well, what about space zombies?
Space zombies? Well, they have definitions. Space zombies are zombie life forms originating from space or created by toxic contamination of the Earth environment in some form of extraterrestrial toxin or radiation. Nope, that would cover the original Night of the Living Dead.
That covers Night of the Living Dead.
That is our modern definition of zombies.
Right.
Fun fact, people that don't watch,
sure.
movies or
but the one that really interests me is the weaponized zombie, which is clearly like a Resident Evil type scenario.
Yeah, where it's a plague. So
bioorganic weapons. Right. You gotta fight them bows.
But you're just you're crop dusting a bunch of people with zombie viruses. So yeah, it's good. It's good to know.
Glad they're on top of it.
I'm gonna go to bed tonight feeling a little safer. About zombies, but they still don't have a lock on Draculas.
That's also another plan, but they're not letting us know about that.
So things they are letting us know is about fucking superhero movies. I gotta tell you guys, I feel pretty good about our show. Mm-hmm. I think, we'll be in business for quite a while. Mostly because we don't make any money.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're going to get fired anytime soon. Mm-hmm. We're not going to fire ourselves.
No.
But
we're non-profit.
But we're not going to run out of shit to talk about.
Not my choice.
Because we got a bunch more superhero movie news, TV. No video games, though.
Video games. No soups.
I mean, movie spin-offs, but best one, Spider-Man 2.
Yes. The best video game movie about superheroes.
No,
movie video game.
Yeah.
About...
Don't get it twisted.
the best video game movie.
About spilling your coffee.
If
anybody knows how to make a Flash game,
hey,
make Jake and Trevor Review Everything present Trevor spills his coffee.
Don't spill coffee.
Every show.
Don't spill the coffee.
Okay.
For those of you looking,
it'll be like
take a gander at this handsome Darth Vader coffee cup, given as a gift to me by frequent show watchers Ben Hunter and Nikki Manti. So call out to them for the mug.
I do have my Yoda mug, but it's still in the box. And
it's mint in box. It's mint in box.
It's mint in box!
And I just want to let everyone know, if you send Jake and I mugs, we will use them on the show.
Send us anything.
Send us some stuff.
Send us video games. We'll play video games.
Send us a movie. We'll watch it and tell you what we think.
We're still planning on playing video games. And here's, we're 10 minutes in. It's time to plug the website.
Yes.
Peanutbutterdisaster.com. You haven't been there? You're a dummy. You're not a dummy. We love you. We'll love you more if you go to peanutbutterdisaster.com.
I know, I will.
We still have a bunch of new videos. Kira is on here. He made Hipster Ninja 12.
Top 12 Guilty Pleasures, released last Friday.
Imperial.
The Friday before last.
But, and we have, obviously, our video. A bunch of other videos.
A bunch of new videos coming up here soon.
And we have a new video coming up here, too.
That's right.
So keep your eyes peeled. We'll be throwing that information down on the tweets and the Facebooks and all that. But
And I'm going to go so far as to give a super secret spoiler. It's so super secret, Jake didn't even authorize this.
Oh!
Spill the beans.
Damn you, Trevor House!
Oh, spill the beans, Peterson.
Alright.
No, apparently. No, guys, Jake and I are working on some kind of new ideas about the show. We are trying to take some of the feedback we've gotten from you and the rest of the community into consideration. And there will be some changes coming to Jake and Trevor Review Everything in the next few episodes and going forward. So watch for that.
Oh, yeah.
We think it's going to be
a
good direction.
News.
Really big stuff for you guys.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. So go to the site, check out the videos. Also, hopefully you're watching this on peanutbutterdisaster.com, because that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But if you scroll down, I see you scrolling. I can see through your computer to you. Don't get paranoid, I was just kidding. At the bottom, there is a YouTube playlist, which we will be updating weekly, that will have the other episodes of the live show. So if you missed the live show,
just a whole bit.
Not able to come, just come right back to this page. It'll be right at the bottom.
Big playlist of previous episodes. Jake and Trevor Review Everything.
Oh yeah, we originally had them on individual posts on the website.
It was rude of us.
It was rude
to treat you that way, baby.
We were real bad dudes.
I'm sorry.
But so we got that all figured out for you guys. Let's go to the chat.
Michael Swanson has a question for us.
We got a bunch of hi dads and moms.
I'm glad everyone's getting in step with us here. Michael Swanson asks, favorite all-time comic book villain?
Oh.
Your fave.
Oh.
Obviously mine's Carnage. No, I'm just kidding. That's bullshit. No, never.
I think
everyone can still remember my legendary tirade against Carnage and Maximum Carnage.
Don't get him started. Just don't say anything.
Don't set me off.
Don't.
I'm a ticking time bomb.
Don't do it. I gotta say, my favorite story-wise character, like villain, because I feel like there's a number of things that make a good villain. One of them is like look and feel and how they react and act and that kind of stuff. And there are plenty of villains that are that. But I think one of the big ones is their motivation. It shouldn't just be like, I want to destroy insert X hero here, fish shake. It's got to be a little more complicated than that. I mean, obviously, everybody's default, most people's default is the Joker because he's crazy and he doesn't really have a motivation, and that's nice. I mean, like, he's different from other villains. He sets himself apart, but it gets a little old sometimes. It's nice to have a tie-in. I gotta say, my favorite villain under storyline, under character building, would have to be Rasputin from Hellboy.
Okay.
And you see him a little bit in the movies, but he's a really bad dude, but he's not... Imagine this. Imagine you're really into the Elder Gods, and you want, Cthulhu to show up and wreck everything, and that's kind of your dream. Like, when I grow up, I want to start total universal chaos, you know? Yeah. Like, that's all he wanted.
You gotta have goals, guys.
And Hellboy just shows up out of nowhere. Speaking of rules, just Hellboy shows up, breaks all the rules, you know? And is like, I'm not gonna, you know, serve in hell.
I'm not gonna do the thing.
I'm not gonna do the thing. I'm gonna help the humans. And you're like, what?
Dude,
why do you... Dude,
this is my life goal, man. This is my life goal.
Everybody's been doing the same thing in the mythological, mystical realm forever, and then you just show up, and some dude's like, I'm gonna raise this hell baby, and then all of a sudden you're just a dick towards your entire, you know, mythological kind. And he just can't get it. There's a really touching scene, which is weird for a villain, but it's after, like, the first or second time he dies, because Rasputin dies and comes back a bunch of times. And he's hanging out with Baba Yaga at her chicken leg hut. And she's like, you can go inside there, which is, like, filled with dead souls and stuff. And he's like, no, I gotta keep coming back to life and keep doing this thing. I gotta see it through. Where he's just kind of questioning, like, man, why isn't it easier to destroy the world and you know, have it descend into chaos? Like, oh, man, that's a bummer. And you feel for him. I mean, you know, minus the whole world destruction thing.
Of course.
It's a really touching, you know, check it out. I think that was, like, the second... They have it in trade paperbacks now, but I think it was like the second trade paperback of Hellboy, and it was good. It was really good.
Based what the movie was based on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the second,
the first one.
The first one.
Right. As for me, I'm gonna go old school here. Doctor Doom is pretty much my favorite.
He kind of falls along that same line.
Sure. Here's the thing. Number one, he's got 3 support pillars of badass villainy. Okay. Number one, master schemer. So many schemes and plans. Pillar 2, technology. He's a genius.
He went to school with Reed Richards,
and a contemporary of Reed Richards. I should point out.
Here
he makes time machines and fucking all kinds of crazy
robots.
He's got his Doombots. They
act exactly like him. How many times have they tricked like good guys that should have known better?
All the time. They think, I'm fighting Dr. Doom. What a fucking...
and then his head pops off and it sparks. And it's like,
it's a Doombot the whole time. I thought that seemed too easy. That's why. And then 3, magic. This motherfucker's got magic.
He's got magic and machinery.
How much magic does he have? Well, I can tell you this. Officially speaking, he has magical abilities on par with being a contender for the role of Sorcerer Supreme on Earth. So Doctor Strange, if he wasn't around, Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom, would be a strong contender for the next Sorcerer Supreme.
Do you think you have to have a doctorate to be a Sorcerer Supreme?
Yes. One type or another, except liberal arts. No liberal arts doctorates.
Sorry, Stephen Colbert.
But what's really interesting about him to me, though, is how he's an exception to a lot of rules for me. Like, I enjoy a good villainous motivation, and especially when he started, his whole motivation was an experiment that Reed Richards warned me would blow up in my face, blew up in my face, and now my beautiful face is ruined, and it's all Reed Richards' fault, and I'm gonna destroy him. And that's such a shitty motivation. Yeah. It's so dumb.
It is really stupid.
I frequently criticize bad motivation, and in fact will do so in our next episode.
Oh, yeah?
Spoiler alerts. But
we talk about the Spider-Mans 2.
Spider-Mans 2. But as he went on, he developed much more interesting motivations. And my favorite thing about him, I guess, and all that together, is that he's not just a full, straighten-out villain in that, like, he doesn't want to destroy the world. He wants to rule over the world.
Right.
Because he thinks he can do it better. Not because he enjoys the idea of putting everybody under his boots. I mean, he does.
He does.
But he fucking, cackles and shit. I mean, you can't cackle unless you enjoy putting people under your boots. But he thinks he can do it better.
And arguably, he might be able to. I mean, you could argue that, Latveria is total, dictatorship, but totalitarian regime.
But it's frequently depicted in the comics as
kind of utopian-esque.
Yeah, where all the citizens are
oftentimes either they're oppressed or they're totally cool with it. It goes
one
way or the other.
Our beloved leader, sure. It's very North Korean, perhaps. We're not really sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely Doctor Doom. Follow-up question to that, also from Michael Swanson. What villain would you love to see in a movie? I'm going to go ahead and give Jake a second to speak. Doctor Doom. I want to see him done right. His appearances in the Fantastic Four movies
just
so
stupid,
so bad.
So
do
bad.
Not count. I want to see it done right. I don't want to see him being a literal metal man. That's not his body. That's armor, bro. That's his armor. He puts it on because yours are not. You are not the one who is worthy to see Doctor Doom's scarred visage. You know,
yeah.
I mean, he's real serious about it. But yeah,
nobody even knows if some people think that he just got like one scar on his face.
Yeah, that's
like
one prevailing theory, that he's got like one little.
And he's like, my face is ruined, or it's like, Spawn hamburger face.
Yeah, it's one or the other. I think the small scar is kind of more of an interesting take.
Yeah, where it's like he really thinks his face is ruined. Hey, chicks dig scars, Doctor Doom.
Come on, bro.
Come on, bro. Man, villains on the big screen. Shoot, that's real tough. I don't know. I mean, we got a little bit. Trevor's obviously into Arrow, and we got some Deathstroke in that. And I haven't really seen the show, but I saw the clip that Deathstroke was in.
Guys, I want you to know, I really want to talk about Arrow with you guys, but Jake won't let me.
Listen, you talk about Game of Thrones. You go ahead and talk about Arrow. No. If you guys want to hear about Arrow, Trevor will talk about it.
I'll talk about Arrow. You just let me know, baby, what I can do for you. I'll treat you right.
But yeah, there's a. I think it was. I think it might have been in. No, it wasn't in 52. It was in Checkmate or shortly thereafter. Whenever it was, the A squad of the Justice League had gone off to do whatever, and the B squad was there, including Green Lantern, who isn't really B squad, but. Deathstroke ended up fighting a bunch of them. It was like the Atom and Green Lantern and Hawkman and like a bunch of people. And he, in like 2 seconds, disabled everyone. Because he is awesome. Deathstroke is awesome.
Deathstroke.
He's motherfucking Deathstroke. So that would be cool. Taskmaster, too, falls along those same lines. See, Deathstroke is like a cross between Taskmaster and Deadpool, if we're talking Marvel and DC.
I mean, here's the thing. I would definitely not want him to be associated with that side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I think it could be pretty compelling, like having Taskmaster as a Spider-Man villain in a Spider-Man movie.
That would be cool. I think Taskmaster would be a better Avengers villain anyways, because his shield is a replica of Cap's. So, it would make more sense.
Too true.
He's not a mutant.
Too true. Get him out of there. No.
He's originally an Avenger villain.
He's DC. Or DC. What the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, he's Marvel's own...
How dare you!
Marvel's own cinematic universe. Not Sony's or Fox's. Okay. And Todd Jake Selves writes, what would you like to see, or mentions that he would like to see a good Mephistopheles. Now, I don't know if he means the literary character or
the devil,
or hold on, or the comic book like Mephisto.
Mephisto.
Is it Mephisto? Do you mean Mephisto? Because I don't know, man.
Iron Man and Power Mephisto.
Power Mephisto.
No, they tried to do Mephisto in the first Ghost Rider movie, and that was pretty shitty. It was like emo Mephisto. Gross. No, I gotta say my favorite portrayal of the devil in a movie, we don't want to talk about that, was in Constantine.
Stole my answer. Fuck you.
Really?
Yeah, I love that.
Well, apparently that's our favorite devil.
He's a great devil.
He shows up very briefly.
Peter Stormare.
Peter Stormare. Man, that guy, he knows how to be creepy. He's the perfect devil. But yeah, speaking of Constantine... Segue.
Fellas, I see your questions about Arrow stuff. I will not abandon you. I will not abandon you.
We're only 23 minutes into the game.
We'll get back to you guys. We'll get to some Arrow chat.
We'll talk about it.
We'll chat up some.
You'll talk about Arrow.
Well, Jake,
I'm sure I can
observations.
Some commentary about the characters in the comic books and stuff.
Okay.
No. Constantine, they have a trailer out for the TV show. If you haven't seen that, it's on YouTube. It's really good. That's.
Are we doing that as a Jake and Trev watch with you?
We already watched.
Well, why'd you tell them that, Jake?
Because it's a long trailer.
Listen, for your guys' benefit, I will lie to you. I want you to know that I'm not afraid to lie to you guys to enhance your entertainment.
What a nice guy.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Sorry. No, we watched it. Trevor watched it. I'll be honest this time. I'll let him lie for you guys later, but but no, it was good. It was good. Even though the trailer basically was I assume at least the first, if not the first 2 episodes.
Right. It basically told you everything you need to know going in.
It was the cliff notes,
which is good. You kind of want to. I mean, especially with like something. I feel like there might be a lot riding on this. NBC's really hunting for a big hit. They really need another big hit.
Yeah, they need something.
That's why they're thinking about bringing Heroes back next year.
Yeah, and they're also canceling Community.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, well, if you're familiar with Community, their big thing is 6 seasons in a movie, which I will explain to you exactly why that's ironic right now. Okay. That was actually on our list of things to talk about. So we're segueing like mad bastards. Okay, so Community, if you're not familiar, has been going on for 5 seasons. The 4th season was written by somebody that wasn't the show's creator, who got kicked off the show for 1 season. Not very many people liked it. I didn't like it very much. Dan Harmon, the creator, just came back for this 5th season, and still don't like it. I think that he had a lot of shit to deal with. I feel like it's one of those things where I think he set it down and basically kind of... I think he was in the process of getting over it. He had a touring show called Harmonville or Harmontown where he would do like stand-up and talk about the industry and stuff. And yeah, he was rocky with NBC to begin with, but they saw that they needed him to come back because the fans were like, this season blows, 4th season.
We need the showrunner back.
So he came back to the 5th season, had to change a bunch of stuff drastically. His budget got cut really hard because that's part of the reason why I got fired in the first place. But yeah, one of the jokes on the show is 6 seasons in a movie. In the 2nd season, I think, one of the characters, Abed, brings up the cape. And everybody's like, the cape's not going to last, which it didn't. I think the cape lasted like 5 episodes. Mm-hmm. But he
3, I want to say. But
yeah, he wanted the cape to continue, and he's like, 6 seasons in a movie! That was like his thing. There's going to be 6 seasons in a movie of Cape. And that's kind of like the rally cry for the Community show, hashtag 6 seasons in a movie. Mm-hmm. This is the 5th season, and NBC has canceled it before their 6th. So the irony there is that Abed said 6 seasons in a movie, referring to a show that didn't even make it 3 episodes, so that got canceled.
Right.
And the other irony is there's an episode where they talk about Cougar Town, which is another show, I believe, on NBC.
ABC, I want to say.
ABC, whatever. ABC. One of the BCs. One of the TV station channels. But that's being picked up for a 6th season. So, in addition...
my God.
Yeah, I don't get it. To be honest, I think Community's starting to kind of make its run, you know. It's going to be over. It sucks, but, you know.
What do you do?
What can you do? What can you do?
All right, next news item. Yes. Some potential big news. Channing Tatum has been confirmed as Gambit in a future X-Men spin-off movie.
Assumedly, X-Men Origins Gambit.
We should hope. I don't know. Here's the thing. Yeah, he's kind of the fan favorite character, I'd say, wouldn't you? A lot of folks seem to like Gambit.
I don't know why. I'm not going to say...
Does not know why.
I'm not going to say I don't like Gambit, but... Because I do like Gambit. He's a staple. I think part of it is he was part of the comic revolution of the late 80s, early 90s. Mm-hmm. When they started to get Marvel and DC into 64 colors, when, you know, Todd McFarlane spun off and did all his shit. You know, he was kind of like one of the bad boys of the X-Men, a newer character. He had his own character. That kind of stuff. He
was morally gray, you know, former thief, you know, kind of a bad boy.
Yeah, and then he had that thing with Rogue, and I feel like people were really getting sick of like Wolverine and Jean Grey and
the Wolverine, Scott Jean Grey, fucking.
Yeah, that gets old after a while. We're old. Obviously.
And then you have this.
it tanked the 3rd X-Men movie.
Sure,
so.
And then you have this ultimate unrequited love story where they literally can't touch without one of them dying.
Yeah. And that was
that's interesting.
Yeah, so
and
he's kind of a lover boy.
He's he's that kind of fun-loving Cajun boy. I mean, that's kind of a neat.
But he's never really he had his own
archetypical character,
Yeah, he had his own four-issue miniseries, but that was like it. He never had like a long-running series. He was always kind of like a staple of the X-Men. I feel like a lot of you who are watching, if you had to make a list of who would be your X-Men team, he'd probably be high up on there.
Sure.
But I still don't understand, can you name one major story that he's been in that he was part of the plot or anything? People just remember his character. I feel like he's a lot like Venom. Mm-hmm. We talked about that last week, where it's like people don't really remember anything.
They remember that he existed.
Venom. They remember that he existed and he looks
and the
badass.
pictures look like really sweet.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Venom, fucking obnoxious.
I mean, think how hard it is to translate Venom from the comic books to the movies. Like, he looks awesome in the comic books. You have the splash pages. It literally looks like he splashed across the page, like black ink, It looks tenderly and sinister, but also cool. Mm-hmm. He's extreme. But then, you put him up on the screen, it's like, eh. I feel like that's very similar to Gambit.
Kennedy writes, I don't see Channing Tatum as Gambit.
He's not as wiry. I feel like Gambit always seemed like one of those, hungry for life, looking a little,
I gotta tell you, I'm looking at a side-by-side picture of Channing Tatum and Gambit, and if you imagine that little... I still want somebody to explain what that thing that he's wearing is.
Is that like a sparring helmet?
What is that?
Without the top? So his luscious hair can flow back?
Is it like a balaclava that you cut the top and face off of?
Do you order those, or does he make those?
But just imagine
it's not part of the X-Men outfit.
Topless helmet thing just sliding right down over Channing Tatum's chiseled jaw.
Yeah, he's got to have the flat, but he's got I don't know, it might work.
Yeah, I'll give it a chance.
He'd be a good Colossus.
He can do better than I can't.
I don't even remember, dude.
No, I remember who he is.
Okay.
I was gonna say he can do a lot better than Taylor. I can't helm a movie to save my life or career. Kitsch.
Oh yeah.
Taylor Kitsch. Legendary boat sinker in in Battleship and
Dubsteppleship.
Also, Dubsteppleship. Also did apparently not a terribly great job in John Carter, which is he was
the lead.
He was John Carter in John Carter of Mars, the legendary Barsoom saga.
I feel like, just an aside, I feel like there are a lot of movies that I've just skipped over the past 5 or 6 years that I just need to see. I'm not really looking forward to that, but I mean, it's like watching Dune. Nobody really looks forward to that.
The more I think about it, X-Men Origins Wolverine, in addition to everything else that was working against it, too many dicks on the dance floor.
Oh, yeah.
It's as if they were all truly convinced that after X-Men 3, that this was the last X-Men movie they'd ever get to make.
So they'd have to jam
all the characters in.
Get them in there.
Get them in. We're gonna get Deadpool in here and totally ruin it. I'm sorry. I wanted to give Jake a pause to hopefully. I'm trying to provoke him. He's a caged tiger. He's the last tiger, and he's caged. And I'm just poking through.
Uh-oh.
Better watch out.
Shrink!
Oh, jeez. But anyway.
Schnick.
Oh,
God.
And speaking of X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Why are we speaking of it? But go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was watching we were watching the CinemaSins, which came out here.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, Jake and Trev recommend. CinemaSins. If you're into movies, we dig pretty deep into movies. I feel like we kind of focus more on plot and character and stuff, and I feel like CinemaSins fills all those other gaps. Mm-hmm. Just the really nitpicky stuff.
Hey, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This is dumb too.
Gaffes and continuity errors, but then also, character motivation. Some funny, long-standing jokes on the CinemaSins show as well. They have a good format, so check that out. But they did, the latest video they did was X-Men Wolverine Origins.
And admittedly, I hadn't really spent much time thinking about X-Men Origins Wolverine for quite some time. But while I was thinking about it today, it would have been really easy to fix the whole problem with Deadpool in that movie.
What's that?
Actually, there'd probably be a lot of really easy ways to fix most of the problems. But basically, they figured that the only thing that would be sufficiently like dangerous would be if you put all of the mutant powers into one and then call it Deadpool, and then thus completely ruining what Deadpool is. But I don't know, like he could have been a part of like a group of mutants, or even like the only successful one, where they tried to take.
They call it X-Force.
Well, where they take Wolverine's regenerative power and try to install that in other mutants.
Yeah.
And
that's very close to the comic books, because that's how Deadpool got. Deadpool stole. Well,
but hold on. I have a question.
Huh.
So, if he didn't naturally have in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie regenerative powers, which he didn't.
No, he didn't.
What was his mutant power that he was a part of that mutant team? Was it Blade stuff? That's not a mutant power. What was his mutant power as a part of the Weapon X team led by Stryker?
I don't know.
Let's play at home. If anybody can tell me what Deadpool's... Because everybody on the team had some kind of mutant power. Even
this game is rigged, by the way. Don't play at home.
Even Mary Brandybuck, or whatever the hell his name is.
The Hobbit.
Dominic Hignall, or I don't know.
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't fucking know.
Anyway, yeah. So he had like he could light things up and like power things from a distance, and then of course the Blob couldn't be moved. Like
I think he was like a technopath. Actually.
Yeah, well, okay, that's not the point. The point is everybody had some sort of definable mutant power to be on that team. What was Deadpool's mutant power?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess I'm late to the game to be pointing at plot holes and things that don't make sense about this movie.
I'm gonna be honest because I'm an honest guy.
Late to the party.
Right now, I cannot tell you whether Deadpool in the comics was originally a mutant or he got all of his powers through experimentation. Because I know that he was given Wolverine's regenerative ability, so much so that his is actually better than Wolverine's.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a knock up instead of a knock off.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's whatever helps you sleep at night.
But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if... I'm going to find out. We're going to find out.
Okay. But moving along, Marvel says Netflix Daredevil. Those of you who are not in the know, there's going to be a Netflix series. There's going to be 4 Marvel comic series on Netflix.
Was it Jessica Jones?
And Iron Man and Power Fist.
They're getting their own, which is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta have one together.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me, why you would put them in separate,
Maybe they'll, cross over. Maybe, both of their series will be released at the same time. It'll be, a parallel.
Yeah.
Well, I assume they're all going to be parallel. It's all Marvel Knights.
Isn't the other one Cloak and Dagger?
Marvel Knights?
No. The fourth... Oh, no, that is the fourth. Never mind. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, they're 4. Is him, and Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Man, and Power Fist.
Right.
So, Power Man and Iron Fist.
But in any case, Marvel's saying that the Daredevil one is basically planned as one large movie. They are kind of designing this from the ground up, according to the report, around the Netflix format, which allows you to binge watch the entire show in one day if that's what you want to do.
Right. Well, this gets me excited for a couple of reasons. For one thing, the last time that I've seen that, and I know I've seen parts of Orange is the New Black. I know that's a Netflix series.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. But the last thing I watched all the way through was the Arrested Development, this Netflix exclusive Arrested Development season.
Mm-hmm.
And that was done really well, and you could probably chalk that up to the fact that it was by the Arrested Development writers, who are brilliant, to say the least. But all of the episodes, the way they did it was you could watch them out of order, and I doubt they're going to do that with Deadpool. God, I want Deadpool so bad.
He wants it.
It's just leaking out of my face.
Daredevil.
I'm sure they'll do one continuous series, but in this article, which is on Screen Rant, they do talk about how... actually, there's a quote by Joe Quesada, who, backstory, a little learning for you guys, Joe Quesada saved Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
How did Joe Quesada save Marvel? Well, in the late 90s, Marvel wasn't doing too good, and he started Marvel Knights. If you're not familiar with Marvel Knights, a lot of the characters were like Blade, Punisher, Daredevil, Power Man and Iron Fist, I think were part of that. Elektra, Ghost Rider. There was a bunch of other ones. They all had kind of more adult-oriented comics, which kind of felt Johnny-come-lately, just considering Image and that, even though Image was just a joke of what adults actually want in comic books.
Right.
I mean, they got serious sometimes, and it worked, but there were some comics where it's like, come on. Like, don't get soap your own butts about it, that you're going to be all serious and shit. But Daredevil was written by Joe Quesada and Kevin Smith, actually. Joe Quesada did the artwork. It was I believe it was called Guardian Devil was the name of the series. And it was about Daredevil, and I think there was a thing about AIDS in it that was kind of serious, and then somebody was trying to kill Daredevil. It turned out to be Mysterio, one of Spider-Man's villains. But yeah, basically, it was really good. It was really good. If you get a chance, read that. But that, along with getting picked up for the first Spider-Man movie and the X-Men movie, and a bunch of other stuff, brought Marvel over the hump into the 2000s. So, you know, Joe Quesada quickly became the editor-in-chief of Marvel, which he still is. But yeah, he's going to be involved in that, thankfully, which is awesome. Wait, they're making the Defenders?
Yeah, after they do the series, there's going to be like a big team-up like series with all of them in the Defenders.
Oh, so they're going to be the Defenders. I thought we were going to get some Namor, original Human Torch.
No.
Oh wait, no, that was the Invaders.
Yes, I got that.
What a superhero! That's not a superhero name for a team.
Doesn't sound like it.
Maybe at the time.
Concerning Deadpool's powers and X-Men Origins Wolverine, you guys have some ideas. Michael Swanson says precision. Maybe.
He was good with the swords.
But if precision was his power, then it was the exact same power that I believe Agent Zero had, as who Kennedy points out. As well as using swords is not a mutant power, also using guns is not a mutant power. But there was still Agent Zero, and I think that was his whole deal. Is he was like super precision.
Maverick.
Yes, the Maverick. He was really great at aiming stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, so he's like Hawkeye then, or Bullseye.
Yeah, Maverick is kind of
same thing.
Kind of same thing. People having good precision is not. I think that's like flying in the Marvel Handbook of Superpowers.
It's like a secondary power. Like
there.
People get it sometimes for free.
Other characters would be like Lone Shot. What's his name? Shit. He was from Mojo's Dimension.
Yeah, Long Shot.
Long Shot.
Todd Jake Silves writes, Deadpool could anticipate, and he had super reflexes. You mean he could anticipate, like, Sabretooth was able to anticipate Wraith, who was teleporting
a made-up
around.
Character for Will.i.am.
No. He was Will.i.am, but he wasn't made up. There was a character named John Wraith who had similar powers. I've looked into it a little bit. But
that was during a time when movies could get away with making shit up.
Right.
I feel like fans of superheroes and comic books, you know, there's a lot of shit to bitch about, obviously. But you know what? Here's a new segment for the show. It's called "Let's Be Thankful."
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy to pick things apart and bitch about them and stuff, but let's be thankful that movies are actually trying to represent characters from the comic books a little more close. I feel like the bubble burst when they did the whole Iron Man 3 fake Mandarin bullshit. Mm-hmm. Because there was a huge backlash, and in fact they released a mini short for the DVD that was basically like, there's still a Mandarin.
There's really a Mandarin.
You guys, we're sorry.
Yeah,
for them to kind of like jam that in there.
Furious
and be like,
backpedaling on Marvel's behalf.
Yeah, so I feel like that's really where it kind of burst, and I feel like from now on they will at least try. I mean, you still have to give screenwriters and TV writers a little bit of room to play with the characters and the origins and stuff. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
I think I was the first person to defend Spider-Man's web shooters when that came out. where it was like, oh, they're organic. They were never organic. And it's like, who cares? If it's easier to make the movie go by, then it doesn't matter if he's got cartridges or not.
It's true. It doesn't. Okay, we got about 15 minutes left. 15 minutes left. Let's get a little bit of Arrow talk out of the way. So head back.
Well, can we do lightning round and have Arrow talk right at the end?
Okay, sure. We'll do some lightning round and then we'll do some Arrow talk toward the end of the broadcast.
All right, Trevor, ready? I'm going to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a question. I'm just going to tell you the headline, and you got to tell me what you think of it. All right, we're putting no time on the clock. All right, let's go. Elsa from Frozen comes on to Once Upon a Time.
2 reactions. Really? Already? That sure was a fast cash-in. And number 2, well, yeah, duh. It was like the most popular thing that Disney's made in a long time.
They've broken so many records with their DVD sales, it's ridiculous.
And it's just
They're
basically...
still breaking records.
Right.
People are still buying that movie.
Right. And furiously at that.
Oh God, gotta have it.
But you know, there's lots of fodder in the Disney vault for adaptation into the show Once Upon a Time. I'm shocked, I guess, that they're making this happen so fast.
Hey, jump on the dollar while the dollar's there, son.
I mean, it's just...
You could quote me on that. Somebody take a screen cap of this.
I mean, it's like, I just know that the writers for Once Upon a Time basically showed up to work one morning, and then there were, like, the interns were buzzing around, like, oh, one of the bigwigs is here. We have a big meeting, big story meeting. You gotta get in there right now. And we get in there, and then the guy kind of walks in, like, wide-eyed, and he carefully sets down a briefcase, and he opens it up, and he takes out one page, and he hands it out to everybody, one at a time. And in bold writing, it just says, "Put Elsa on this fucking show right now!"
Yeah.
Nothing else matters! Abandon all other fucking story elements so they can get Elsa on the goddamn screen faster, because this is not a big enough hit yet, and we need to capitalize.
Yeah. No, it's like if you had a money printing machine in the corner.
Would you turn it on?
Yeah, you would, and
you
they
would.
are.
You would, they are. I would.
Alright.
Bad news for fellow PB Tom Marriott. For those of you following us and our group of our merry band of reviewers over at Peanut Butter Disaster, his program, the Minority Report Reviews, where he voices what is in most cases a minority opinion about a movie most people don't like.
Hence the name.
Bad news, Tom.
We're so sorry.
As you know, guys, Stephen Colbert has recently been named as the new guy to be taking over for David Letterman over at the Late Show on CBS.
Is he taking over for Letterman? I
Yes.
thought he got his own show on HBO.
Nope, that's John Oliver you're thinking of.
Oh, wow. Everybody's getting all the shows.
Everybody's...
What's happening? Late night! Actually, most of the changes are good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So John Oliver's over at HBO. Last week tonight is his show.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to.
Stephen Colbert is going to take over at the Late Show.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
But he's not doing a character anymore.
No, he's just going to be himself.
He's just going to be himself, which is probably going to be hard.
Yeah, it'll be a difficult kind of transition. But Comedy Central is not going to be left out in the rain without a show.
Everybody's moving up. It's all shifting.
So they're shifting somebody else into the Colbert Report slot, and it is going to be Larry Wilmore from The Daily Show who takes over. And they're going to be renaming the show.
If you haven't guessed it,
The Minority Report.
Shit.
Tom, we got your back, bro. We're gonna fight this every step of the way. All right, we failed. We already failed. We're not going to stop them. But philosophical support, Tom.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Larry Wilmore.
Netflix raises prices by $1.
Rioting in the street. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria.
Whatever, who cares?
But good news, existing subscribers can stick with the current price for 2 years. Just because you're already there.
Just 2 years?
Oh my god.
I'm only saving $24.
Here's the thing, like, Netflix costs me like $8 a month. It's ridiculously affordable for how much I watch there and how much entertainment I get.
You watch 2 movies and you've already paid for like renting movies at the rental store.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's straight up and down crazy. It's what a phenomenal value. Netflix. You can send your checks to Jake and Trev Review Everything. Kara, no, we don't have a. That's what we need. We need a PO box.
If you have a product and some money, we'll shill it.
Netflix, I will shill you so hard, baby.
Oh, you'll love it.
Oh, Jake and Trev will treat you right. Ooh. All right. Bad news for Hugh Jackman. You thought you were out, but they just keep pulling you back in. Wolverine is to appear in X-Men Apocalypse, and will likely shoot back-to-back with the next Wolverine movie.
So he said a while ago, I don't want to be Wolverine anymore. Same with... There's too many iconic actors and actresses that are like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And it's like, you're gonna.
Too bad.
Too bad. So we're still going to have Hugh Jackman as
Hey, and good news, though, in like 10, 15 years, he's going to be old enough to play Old Man Logan in the Old Man Logan movie.
Favorite Wolverine storyline all time, hands down. Old Man Logan.
I love it.
So good.
But, by the way, brief aside, in the middle of Lightning Round, really, X-Men Apocalypse? Because, you know, the rumors that are going around about that is this is going to be about the Age of Apocalypse. And I say, really? Are we going to have 2 X-Men movies back-to-back dealing with a possible alternate future timeline?
Yeah. Days of Future Past is about an apocalypse.
And it's about a disastrous future timeline.
Yeah. They're pushing it.
Is the next movie literally also going to be about a disastrous future timeline that must be averted at all costs? That would be pretty dumb.
Here's what just came into my mind.
Uh-huh.
So I was trying to connect that to Avengers, because Avengers is actually doing it kind of low-key, because they're going to have Ultron, and then they're probably going to have Thanos. Mm-hmm. Because that's the progression of villains so far. Mm-hmm. We already know there's going to be Ultron. They haven't really dropped any hints, but that's what's called Age of Ultron, so we know.
Right.
So it's just one villain. Ultron never really, destroyed the entire world in an alternate future or any kind of shit like that.
I've heard that they're specifically not doing like an adaptation of the somewhat recent Marvel, storyline Age of Ultron. They're just borrowing the name and the villain.
Right. But I was thinking, like, I feel like if Iron Man's the one who created Ultron, which assumedly that's probably going to be, or somebody,
something like that,
makes Ultron,
that they're doing for this.
If Hydra made Ultron, that would be dumb. I just want to say that.
It would be pretty dumb.
It would be dumb. But then, you have Iron Man creating Ultron. That would be interesting, because that would actually lead into Civil War.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that would be interesting to see, but I don't think they can fit Civil War and Thanos into one movie.
No, that'd be obviously too much. But too much.
I was just thinking about it.
Too much.
So if that happens, if they have Civil War in the middle of Ultron or after Ultron, then I call this Swish. If not, I'm so sorry.
Phil Spearson writes, do you think a Space Ghost movie is feasible?
See, Pete, the public consciousness is aware of, more popularly, the 90s talk show on Ted Turner's Cartoon Network.
Mm-hmm. Also TBS at sometimes.
Yeah. It was kind of a joke. They used old cells from the cartoon that they had rights to, and then did that.
Right.
The original Space Ghost, I don't think they could make a movie out of that, just because people would be like, go there and be like, oh, it's like old pre-Adult Swim, Adult Swim.
And then it's like, wait, why isn't he on a talk show?
He's just flying
with
around.
Zorak and Brock and Moltar.
He's flying around with space monkeys and space kids doing
Wait
space
a minute,
stuff.
What's this about? Yeah. Was that the Wonder Twins?
When was there a space monkey?
Right. That's what people would be like.
So I don't think that's feasible, unfortunately.
Although I think Space Ghost is pretty cool.
Yeah. And, we'll probably get another Green Lantern if the Batman vs. Superman movie goes over well, so... Mm-hmm. And then he's kind of like Space Ghost. He's not a ghost. Spectre's more like Space Ghost, but also not anything like Space Ghost. There's another Bourne movie. Next.
Next.
Oh, yeah, we talked
about the ongoing
this.
Tarantino versus Gawker story that we've been talking about for weeks.
Let's fill you in really quick. Quentin Tarantino wrote a movie
called The Hateful Eight. His kind of spin, a Tarantino-esque spin on the Magnificent Seven.
Mm-hmm. Western. Mm-hmm. And he wrote it. Somebody leaked his script.
Mm-hmm. What a jerk.
Gawker hosted the script from another site. They didn't... Actually, no. They linked to the script, which was hosted on another site.
Right. They had a link. They just linked it.
Quentin Tarantino threw a big fit, said he was never making the movie, and then proceeded to sue Gawker over having a link to the screenplay on their site.
Right.
Got thrown out of court. They could appeal, but Quentin Tarantino, in the newest segment, he has withdrawn his suit. He is not filing for appeals on this particular bullshit. So
right. Although it also points out, this dismissal is made without prejudice, whereby the plaintiff may later advance an action and refile the complaint after further investigations to ascertain and plead the identities of additional infringers. So, basically what he's saying in all of this is, I'm withdrawing my suit because I don't have shit.
Which the judge basically said, you don't have shit.
So I'm going to go try to get some shit, and then I'll be back.
Oh, I'll be back.
I'm coming for you. I will be back.
I'm going to go get the shit. I'm going to do, like, pile cocaine. I will be back.
Well, he's in Hollywood. That's what they all do.
Yo, mostly Quentin Tarantino.
Definitely.
If there's like a pie chart of cocaine, it would be like
Quentin Tarantino. Now he's backing down, looking for evidence, and we'll probably hear more about it next week.
Yeah.
Next. Michael Fassbender says Prometheus 2 is a go, like Thunderbirds.
Mm-hmm. He says he doesn't know when they'll begin filming. He doesn't know if they already started filming. He actually doesn't know if filming from the first movie ended yet or not. I just added those last two.
That's not part of this release.
If you've seen Prometheus, you'll laugh.
Mm-hmm. But it's a thing, and he's going to be involved, and it's going to happen at some point.
Yeah, and hopefully it won't be written by one of the writers.
I guess I'm kind of happy about that, because there was definitely too much story left there.
Threads. If they go back and revisit that shit, and apparently on DVD, if you watch it, and then like with commentary, they explain the whole thing, and it's like, why didn't they just release it in the theater with the extra clips and cuts and commentary?
Oh my god, just do it.
None of that stuff made any sense!
No.
It was awful.
It's a story of terrible decisions unfolding one after the other.
Alright. Go Power Rangers, says Lionsgate. I should write.
Right, you should do these headlines at Variety.
From Variety, Lionsgate sets Power Rangers movie as franchise starter. See, theirs wasn't as zingy as mine.
No. Lionsgate says, go, Power Rangers. So as far as we can tell out of this, they're going to, as many of you could tell me, I'm sure, Power Rangers has been going on in one form or the other with different teams and spin-offs, and Space Galaxy Rangers and Ninja Samurai Rangers and fucking Ghost Sniper Ranger.
I think that's probably on the tail of Ninja Turtles being
Ranger Advanced Warfighter.
Yeah. Super Time Cowboy Dinosaur
Power Ranger 6. But yeah, that's going to get rebooted, and I'm kind of interested because, I have a certain fondness for the original, the Megazords and everything.
Absolutely.
Zordon.
Yep. Rita Repulsa. Zed.
Okay, and we're just gonna... Cyrus McCarter's joined us on the broadcast, and he's got a question we'll get to here. Excited for Godzilla? Yes. Yes, I am.
And,
I'm excited.
The trailer looks pretty good. I still think they're making the fatal, mistake of not having Godzilla be the main character.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing they did with the Godzilla from the 90s with Matthew Broderick.
Arguably though, none of the Godzilla movies have really had Godzilla as the theoretical main character. It always starts with humans.
Of the movie. Well, see, he's the action of Godzilla. And the focal point of Godzilla movies is always Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
You're zoned into Godzilla. You're above the buildings with him. You're up there with him. They've always done it in America as Godzilla is a disaster movie. Godzilla is the disaster.
Uh-huh.
And we're all down here and we're watching, even from the trailer you can see and then he shows up. And we had that same moment for the trailers for the first one,
mm-hmm.
where Godzilla showed up and the eye opened up and it was like, holy shit, they really, they gotta gotta stop doing that. It's not a disaster movie.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it is, but it's not in the traditional sense of disaster.
I think this one's going to be a lot truer to traditional Godzilla.
And I'm sure Bryan Cranston.
Are you watching the trailers, Jake? Because he looks so ready. He looks so ready. To just tear it up. And I'm excited. Would you guys be excited if Jake and I were to do something with this?
You want to see Godzilla?
Let us know in the comments if you're interested in us tackling some Godzilla stuff.
Going with the still going on lightning around here. Emma Stone joins Joaquin Phoenix in Woody Allen's next film, so Woody Allen can make out with Emma Stone. Gross.
Is the second part of that headline?
So gross.
Next. Real quick, those of you, I'm surprised you guys are probably surprised we haven't mentioned this yet. Batman. There's a new pic of the new Bat costume that Ben Affleck will be wearing. There was a
GIF on IO9 of it might have been IO9 or Kotaku, I can't remember, but it's basically like the new picture of Ben Affleck as Batman, and he's like pushing like a rope swing
with one arm,
and it's like raining, and he's just like, nah.
He looks sad.
I laughed for like a full minute. That shit was hilarious. But yeah, the new costume. You can't really get it wrong, I don't think. It does look a little rounded like the Adam West helmet, which I am not super fond of.
But it's also an awful lot like the Dark Knight Returns helmet, if you recall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very like the Dark Knight Returns costume I'm looking at. It kind of seems that way. Which is, again, visually a very strange place to take a movie that's not about a 55-year-old or like 60-year-old Bruce Wayne coming out of retirement after 20 years. It's just kind of a weird visual style to borrow from when you're not also,
I think we may have been talking about this either in our reviews or in the last live show, where I feel like the new superhero movies are a combination of classic and then something else. Like, for instance, the Avengers, most of those characters in movies are a combination of classic Marvel characters and Ultimates Marvel characters. Where I think what DC might be going for, and again, you can mark my words on this one. Just mark all this down. Somebody get a marker board and just start taking bets.
Things that Jake and Trev say.
But I think that what they're going to try to do for this new Superman vs. Batman is they're going to try to take classic characters, and then they're probably going to try to mix more than one. I'm going to say KC, Kingdom Come. I'm going to say Dark Knight Returns. A little bit of you get a little bit of the what's his face in it? Writer, Dark Knight Returns.
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller, yeah. You get a little bit of Miller in there. You stir it all up. Stylistically, plot-wise.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going for, so.
Okay. We are at the hour mark. We see there's some more comments, and we still haven't talked about Arrow? I still haven't talked about Arrow, so we're going to talk a bit about some of that stuff in the after show.
If you're not here for the after show, if you're watching this recorded, know that we do our live show.
And we often stick around afterwards.
Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
A little bit more live, a little bit more unfiltered than the regular live show. So come on back. We're here almost every week. And if you want to hear us talk about anything, if you want to hear us talk more about Game of Thrones, if you want to hear us talk less about superhero and comic book stuff,
then you're neutering everything that I can talk about.
If you want to hear us talk about Arrow, if you want to hear us talk about video games, anything on the show, let us know in the comments. Talk about it put it in comments on the website, on our Facebook page, wherever.
Put it everywhere.
Put it everywhere. Let us know. We need to hear what you want out of this show. So let us know. And
that's Jake and Trev review everything.
I'm Trev.
And I'm Jake.
And thanks for watching.